Hi everybody, it's Tanya and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my February TBR, which is not very ambitious. I decided not to do any ambitious TBRs because first of all, I never finish them anyway. Second of all, they kind of pressure me and I don't feel very comfortable. So that's why I'm like, okay, I will just do a very unambitious, very simple TBR, which also leaves me space to kind of, you know, read whatever I feel like in the current state of my mind. So yeah, today's TBR isn't very ambitious, but there will be a second video actually also for books which I want to read, but not exactly February, also March, because there is this Japanese literature challenge currently going on and I want to participate, and it runs from January till March. So I want to make like a TBR for the Japanese books that I have on my TBR which I need to read. So that will be a separate video, not exactly February TBR though. But today I'm going to talk about books that I want to read in February. So first of all, the most obvious one is this beast. I'm continuing I'm continuing with Don Quixote. I'm currently, can you see it, a little bit more than halfway through. A little bit, just a little bit more than halfway through, which actually feels very satisfying. This book, I don't feel like it's going to be one of my favorite books. I feel like it's not going to be one of my favorite books. It is enjoyable to read, it is fun to read. The characters are very dear to me, and like just their relationship with each other, how they're just adorable. It's very heartwarming book. I feel like maybe it's a book for you read, like maybe you grow to love it the more you read it. So I might be reading it somewhere, like maybe in the future one day, maybe in Russian, who knows. But currently, yeah, I cannot say that it's going to be my favorite book of all times, at least not at this point, but it is an enjoyable read and the characters are very adorable and I just love the characters. Yeah, it is an enjoyable experience and I'm really loving it. Just maybe not exactly the favorite, but yeah, I hope to finish it in February. I'm reading 20 pages a day, so that's like my pace with this book, 20 pages a day. Then from the beginning of February, from the 1st of February, I will have a budget read, which I am very excited about. I'm very excited about this budget read because I will be reading The General in His Labyrinth together with Kellen Green on Instagram. I'm very excited. She very kindly offered me to read this book together, and so if I had any questions about Colombian culture and Colombian like life and people, she would be kind enough to explain them to me. So that's why I'm very excited about that. You have seen this book on my Classics from Around the World to Read video. I will link it up here, so I will not be talking about this book too much in this video, but it's a book about General Simon Bolivar. You see, now I know his name. General Simon Bolivar, who is a liberator. He is known as liberator in Latin America, so that's what I learned from the blurb. This book is about the time when he is already an elderly man and he is traveling along the river revisiting former places of his glory. He is prematurely aged and he has been dragged out of power. He is also lamenting his dream that didn't come true, which was the alliance of all South American nations. Very excited about this budget. And then in the second part of the February, I will have another budget, which I am also very much excited about. I feel like budgets are going to be an interesting experience. I haven't done this before, so it's going to be interesting. I will be reading Cancer Ward together with KD Books, also on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. He is making very good book reviews. I would highly recommend you checking out his booktube channel, which I will link down below in the description box. But yeah, in the second part of February we will be reading together The Cancer Ward by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and this book intimidates. If Kiran hasn't suggested this book, I would never pick it up, because it has to do with, well, cancer ward, so cancer. It has to do with terminally ill people, and it's just a very terrifying topic. And the thing that Solzhenitsyn is writing about his own experiences. He had cancer, but he had quite a successful story when he conquered the disease. He was treated and then he lived a long life after that. But still, just like the topic of terminally ill people is very hard and terrifying, and I feel like it's very difficult to read topic, so I would never pick this book up on my own. However, later, after Kiran suggested it, I started like reading other people's comments on this book and like descriptions of this book on different websites, and I found this comment saying that where else can you find such a will to live and such a love for life if not in Cancer Ward. So this one sentence made me change my mind and made me think that maybe this book isn't going to be all about like death and losing your life and just, you know, saying goodbye to your life. Maybe it's going to be about love for life. And also Alexander Solzhenitsyn, I haven't read much from him. I've only read One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich in school, so it was a long time ago. I don't even remember much what happened in that book. So I definitely need to read more of Solzhenitsyn, but Solzhenitsyn is a very polarizing author in Russia. Like, it's obviously an important author, he's a classic, but just his political views aren't always supported by everybody. Just his books are very hard to read. I want to give it a try. I want to give a try to the Cancer Ward, and then maybe, probably I will read the Gulag Archipelago. And then maybe in the First Circle. We will see, But yeah, I don't build like huge plans with Solzhenitsyn because he is a heavy author. So yeah, I will try first Cancer Ward and then we will see how it goes. I will also reread, I also need to reread One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. And then maybe something else, maybe a Gulag Archipelago. So yeah, these are my buddy reads. And now off to the 4 books which I will be reading just kind of on my own, on like just myself. The first book was suggested actually by one of you, also in the video where I talked about, I think it was in the video where I talked about international classics from around the world. So one of you suggested me to read Friend of My Youth by Amit Chaudhuri. This is an Indian author and book by an Indian author, which I'm very excited about. It sounds very interesting. In this book, Amit Chaudhuri talks about his town where he grew up, Mumbai. However, when he comes back to visit the town, the city has been changed after the terrorist attack that happened in 2008. Yes, 2008. So the place has been changed. Also, he is looking for a friend of his childhood whom he cannot find. And the blurb says that Friend of My Youth is about geographical, historical and personal change, asking the question, what does it mean to exist in both the past and the present? So it's something about him visiting the town of his childhood and looking for his friend. And the person who recommended this book really highly praised it, so I'm very excited to give it a try. And then another book that I have, which has been on my bookshelf for a very long time, and it's just high time for me to pick it up and finally read it, especially because it sounds so much like my cup of tea. It sounds like just a book, for me, a book that I'm going to love. And so the book is I Hid My Voice by Parinush Sania. This is a book by an Iranian author, and this is a book about a family. I love books about families, and not just like any family situation. It's not like a traditional family saga that you would think of. It's a book, first of all, about a young boy who is 4-year-old now, but he still hasn't started talking, and his family has kind of gave up on him already. They think that he is going to be underdeveloped. His siblings ridicule him and they call him dumb, and no one in his family really understands him. He also starts developing this idea that these talented and strong and, you know, smart children are usually their father's children, and children who are like him, problematic and weak, are their mother's children. And nobody in his family really understands him, except for his maternal grandmother, who starts taking care of the boy, and later on she helps him to start talking and to find his voice. And it just sounds like a book for me. It sounds like a book that I'm going to love, you know, the importance of love, the importance of understanding. This is like everything that I love in books. I'm very excited about this book, and it's high time to finally read it because I've had it for a very long time. One more book I want to share with you is A Grain of Wheat by Gogi Wan Yongo. You have also seen this book on my list of the international classics that I want to read this year, so yeah, bring this book in February. It also has been on my TBR for quite a while. Actually, I have quite a few, not quite a few, I have 2 of his books, and there is one book which I really want to read, which is The River Between, also by the same author. I will start with The Grain of Wheat, and then later I also have His Devil on the Cross, so I will read His Devil on the Cross after that, and then The River Between. So those are like my plans for this year, to introduce myself to the writings of Gogi Wan Yongo. This book is set during the state of emergency, during the Kenyan struggle for independence in 1952 till 1959, and it has a few stories interwoven together. However, the main plot revolves around one village's preparations for Kenyan's Independence Day, on which former resistance fighters are going to execute a traitor. And it says that in the lull between the fighting and the new world, colonized and colonizer alike reflect on what they have gained and lost. So I guess it's also going to be a very reflective book, so very excited to try it. And then the last book which I have on my very short TBR for February, actually not that short because there will be another video, right? So it's Narcissus and Goldmund by Hermann Hesse. So in January I read Damien by Hermann Hesse. That book was not my cup of tea. I am not a spiritual person, and so like spiritual books, they just don't resonate with me, so that's why Damien was not a book for me. However, I read in the comments to one of my videos that actually a lot of people like Narcissus and Goldmund. Apparently it's not that philosophical, it's not that reflective, and at the same time, like the plot and the characters and the setting sound very interesting, which setting is the medieval Europe, and the main characters are 2 monks. However, they are like different. They are friends, but they're very different. One of them wants to leave and stay in the monastery. However, the other one understands that this life of seclusion isn't actually a life for him, and he starts traveling around Europe and like seeing life and people, and then after some years they come back together and they kind of reunite. So it's also going, like, I expect it to be a book about friendship or something, and I love books about friendship, and also medieval Europe is a very interesting setting, so I'm very excited to read this book. I think I will start February with this book. Yeah, and the font is actually quite big. With these editions it's very difficult to kind of find a good font, because like it's a very beautiful edition, it's Penguin Modern Classics, but they often like publish books with very small fonts, and like in this case font is really comfortable and very good, so I'm very pleased with this. In case of this font is you see it's quite small font, so yeah, I got lucky with this edition because this font is very comfortable, so I'm very excited to give it a go. So there were all of the books, not all of them, but some of them, that I want to read in February. Hopefully I will be able to read more, but these are like my goals, like my main goals, books that I really want to read in February, books that I will focus on, plus some of Japanese literature, because there's also this Japanese challenge which I will make one next TBR for. So yeah, these are the lists for February. This is the list for February. I hope it was interesting. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which books you want to read in February, which books are on your TBR. And for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a very good day. Hope you're staying safe, and I will see you very soon in my next videos. Thank you very much. Bye.